Hello, my name is Joustin, and in this video, we will be installing and setting up Ruby on Rails. If you ever wanted to start programming, Ruby on Rails is the easiest and safest language you can learn as a first language, in my opinion. If I can learn it, you can also learn it. Ruby on Rails is similar to PHP in its server-side aspect, but is quicker in getting things done. And unlike PHP, you will not be backtracking and writing the same repetitive code that you might have encountered with PHP. So a little review of what Ruby on Rails does. It's a server-side web application framework that provides default structures for database, web services, and web pages. Some notable websites that uses or at some point in their development use Ruby on Rails includes Twitter, Hulu, Twitch, and SoundCloud. Rails combines programming languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create a web application that runs on a web server. Compared to other programming languages such as Java or Ruby, it's easier to pick up in its concepts and ideas. When I was starting off, it felt overwhelming, but once I started to understand where everything is and goes, it was easy. Granted, you will still have to know some aspects of web development like basic HTML and how databases work, but that will all come in time. I will link some guides that help me get started, and it will be located in the description below. So let's begin. First, we are going to open up the Ruby on Rails installer website right here, and we're going to go to Windows 2.1 or Windows 2.2. It doesn't really matter. It's just the versions, and you could change that manually once we get into Sublime. Windows Ruby 2.2. We're gonna try that. We're gonna download that. As you can see from the 3, I already had it downloaded multiple times. Um, so we're gonna start that up. Okay, and here it is. We're gonna accept the licenses, and if you want to read that, feel free to read it. And we're gonna prepare to install. Okay, once it's done downloading, you will know it'll have this completing the Rails installer setup wizard screen, and we're gonna go ahead and finish, and we're gonna be prompted with this CMT command line, and over here you're gonna have to put in your name and your email address. Do not worry, it is not. This is purely for setup purposes, and it will not spam you or anything like that. It's just the way of Ruby on Rails knowing that it's you, I guess. And yeah. Okay, so next we're gonna download our text editor, and the text editor we are going to use is Sublime Text. I like it because it color codes things, and it's pretty easy to navigate, and it's really organized. So let's download that. Once you have that downloaded, we're gonna enter Git Bash into Git Bash, and Git Bash is already downloaded with your Rails installer. So all you have to do is look it up at your search bar. So this is gonna be our command line where we run our server, bundle install, and get our gems or download our gems. So while we're here, I'm gonna paste this in here, and what this does, it makes sure that I have the right gem, or not Rails gem, and it makes sure I'm up to date on it. And if you don't uh, have Rails installed, it'll tell you and it'll install it for you. So yeah, just wait for that to download for you. And next, we're gonna cd into our desktop. And every time you want to work on a project or a folder, you're gonna have to cd to desktop, so make sure you're in the desktop so you can work on the project. So every time you get in Git Bash, you're gonna cd, do the squiggly line here by your tab button and slash, and then desktop, and then yeah. So after that, you don't have to, if you want to cd into like a folder, you don't have to cd squiggly line and then type in like whatever you want to get into. You just have to cd into it because you're in your reading desktop. So let's make sure we're in desktop. PDW makes, or it shows you what folder you're in. So I'm in desktop right now. So once we have that done, we're going to create our website, or we're going to make sure it's running. So in order to do that, we have to create the folder first, or the website, I mean. So we're gonna write Rails new, and every time you want to make a new project, you're gonna have to type in Rails new and then so and so, whatever you want to name it. So for this example, I'm gonna write Caramel because that's my dog's name. Rails new Caramel, and over here it creates a file for us. So yeah, let's wait for that to finish installing. So yeah, mm, once we're here, we're gonna make sure it's up and running. So we're gonna type in Rails S or Rails server. Rails S is a shortcut. There's a lot of, I guess, innuendos that are in Rails, or shortcuts, I mean. So let's make sure that's running. Oh, see, I messed up there because I didn't cd into it. So before you start, or if before you run your Rails server, make sure you're in the folder. So we're gonna type in cd caramel caramel. So now we are in our caramel folder, which is this thing. So we're gonna make sure we're in that pwd. So desktop caramel. So now we're gonna run the Rails server. You can either run, like I said earlier, Rails S. So it's booting up localhost, and note that it's not going to be on an actual server yet. This is going to be your local, I guess, project manager where you could make edits without making it drastically. So let's say if you want to go live, you would use a different web or hosting server, and it wouldn't be localhost, it would be whatever you call it. And some places, or some hosting services like Heroku or HostGator or whatever hosting, it's gonna be like that. So yeah, so let's go and open up localhost, and here we are. We are running a Ruby on Rails, and this helps us, or it tells us that we have a running server, and if you make changes to it, it's gonna show up on here, localhost. And so yeah, once we have that, well, I mean that's basically it. That's basically set up already for you to edit your projects. So here, let me show you. So I'm gonna open up Sublime Text 3. So we're gonna put in Caramel into our text editor, and this is why I like Sublime so much, because it color codes things. As you can see, we're going apps, assets, images. So before I get into that, I'm gonna explain what assets does. It's basically your styling and your fonts, your colors, whatever you want to name it. It has its own JavaScript folder for you to edit, style sheets, HTML, or I mean CSS, and your views is your layouts and what you see on it. So it's gonna be your HTML, or your routes you put in there. So let's go exit that. And so if you want to add a gem, you're gonna go here, gem file, and you would add your gem accordingly. And that's basically all you really need to know right now. Stay tuned for the next video. I will be demonstrating how to get your server up and running, as in create its function. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.